Okay, let's go for instance to the time I counseled a gentleman, and let's call George, which was really his name. And I had been asked by his family members and by George if I would come out to their house, because George was so afraid of dying and of death that it would make him very uptight and had him in fear. And of course we can't overstep it. We can notice it and we can name it. He was out of the Christian religion. He was Roman Catholic. His priest had finished telling him that when he died, he would go and have to wait when the body was buried with the body until the trumpet blows. Well, the trumpet, he told me, would then bring direction with, the grave would open and he would die. And I said, no, George, that's not how it is. They have really misinformed you. And let's set the record straight so you will be empowered to know what is going to take place and that you have control. You will have control until the last second in the body and have more control once you're out the body. And that was a little hard for George at first. But then when I discussed with him the procedure that was going to take place, George was one of the most lovely, the most empowered beings to pass from this world, and gave a lot of evidence to his Catholic family that there was no death. So he was in the hospital, he had come to the end, and he knew it, and he had a terrible disease, a lung cancer, and he would drift in and out of consciousness. And when his time had then come close, he watched a escalator come through the ceiling to the corner of the room, and the escalator did slide up to his bed. Well, George was very friendly and was a very happy man, was very informed, shall we say, but his niece was not that informed. And she was so surprised as she saw the shiny escalator come to the hospital bed and saw her Uncle George come out of the body and go to the escalator where now one of the Etherian beings was, reached out, took his hand, helped him onto the escalator, and the escalator moved on out of the ceiling as the niece watched the last breath leave the body from her uncle. Within 10 minutes, George was already seen in the basement in Saskatchewan, where his nephew was repairing a bicycle, and had a conversation with him. Then he was seen in the house from the sister whom he had just left for the hospital to go into the other world. He was seen there. He also was seen having conversations with another niece who was not as close-minded. And so George left. But now when George, his body came to the time of burial, his sister, his brother-in-law, and 2 other family members did see George in the church. Now, this is evidence, and there is a lot of evidence of life after life, but that life when you leave the body is more vibrant. This is why we say to people when somebody passes, be kind, be gentle and understanding, because they need your love to know that you're going to be okay as they progress onward and later come back to help you. Love is never ending, like life is never ending.
What do you think we can all do to ensure a good afterlife?
As I have told you before, and I tell you again, is to change the way you live, be more conscientious of your everyday life, be kind, be compassionate, be generous, be loving, and very respectful to those who travel with you upon your planet. And meditate, prepare yourself to be empowered, knowing that your life is everlasting and that you are the one that will give accountability. That is the major thing here. There is no Tom, Dick or Harry standing beside you who writes down what you do. You, your soul, remembers every action and accounts for every action when you are in the other sphere.
One other question, Your Holiness, before we go. For people that are very materialistic, who have gathered great wealth over their lifetime, what are your words about what happens to that wealth when they part?
You come naked and you leave naked. You come as pure soul and you leave as spirit and soul. And if you are so attached to your earthly possessions, you are in trouble, big trouble. And if you believe that if you go out to murder, steal, rob, hurt other people, bomb cities or countries, you're going to have to account for your actions. And if you are fooled, you will cry in the other world and feel at loss.
Your Holiness, we'd love to ask you some other questions about what it looks like where you go to in the other world and how close it is, how far away it is. Many questions we still have.
Well, you know, I feel because that is a whole big subject and that is of very, very deep interest to many, because also too many myths and many stories about it are out there. So shall I keep that for next time, because this is a lengthy one?
That sounds wonderful. We'd be anxious to speak with you again and we look forward to it. Thank you once again.
You are very welcome, and I hope the information is going to help many, many people in their compassion and kindness and definitely respect. We are all people wherever we are, up on and within the universes, to learn, to progress onward and upward, to live pure life. And I'm really, really very much so would like humanity to keep in day-to-day actions, to do the best you can do each and every day. Bye-bye.